Time for what?
Time for what?
Experience in college.
Time for reinforcement.
Time for liftoff!
Where nothing is impossible unless you think it is impossible.
College.
My college scholarship.
Yes.
Boom.
College ran by real fast.
You hung in with the best college.
First time for everything.
Well, what are you waiting for?
What are you waiting for?
Let's do this thing.
Genius, let's do this thing!
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the show. We are here in Seattle, Washington, with a wonderful guest. Oh my God, we are so lucky. So, why listen to me? Ed, can you please introduce yourself to everyone?
Hello, everyone. I'm Ed Lawrence Hagapin. I am a second-year public affairs major and also Sullivan Scholar here at Seattle University.
Now, Sullivan Scholar. That's an interesting title. For our listeners who don't know what that is, tell us, what makes you a Sullivan Scholar?
So the Sullivan Scholarship is a full board and lodging, full tuition scholarship to Seattle University and really emphasizes leadership and community involvement and social justice and all that, and all those aspects.
Fantastic. And you're, people know I've been doing this for a long time. Yes, over a quarter of a century. And you're one of the few students that I know who have won it. Yes! So congratulations.
Thank you.
But I wanted, we're here in the beautiful city of Seattle, Washington, in a gorgeous campus. What building are we in right now?
So we are in the new building here at Seattle University, the Senegal Center for Science and Innovation.
Now, I thought it was donated by Amazon because I saw Amazon Computer Science Center, but it was not donated by Amazon, but another founder who resided in Washington. Who is?
Jim Senegal and his wife. They are the founders of Costco.
Yeah, so if you wonder why Costco, a lot of their products are Kirkland, there's actually a Kirkland, Washington. As I just discovered recently, there's a Starbucks, Washington, as I've been driving the state. So how did your travels and landed you here? So in high school, how did you find this campus? Because before our interview, you were talking about how you're really happy, it felt great. And I do know some people who came to various colleges, including this one, and this isn't a good fit. I'm going to transfer somewhere else. So how did you find this place in the beginning of your journey?
Well, coming from a Jesuit high school, I really wanted to stay within that Jesuit aspect and the whole ethos of it. And also, I liked Seattle University's emphasis on social justice. Even in my classes last year, there was a big component on social justice, and all the topics that the classes were teaching about pointed towards there and pointed towards issues and real issues, even issues happening in our time right now.
No, that's interesting you said that because I had to get some cappuccino before meeting with you this morning. And I was in your student center and I saw a mural display for Black Lives Matter. Prominent, it wasn't in the corner, it wasn't just like in campus ministry, it was the main center. So you found this campus to be one that practiced what it preaches.
In a way, being more intentional in those types of topics and also just making sure that the entire student body gets represented in some way, shape, or form, and we're really talking about the issues happening in our time right now.
Now, for some people who may not be Catholic or didn't go to Jesuit high school, do you feel that this is still a place for them? Meaning, do they have, are you taking as many, religious classes that you did, in high school? Are you required to? Do you see more people being Catholic on campus or more not? What's the vibe?
So it really just depends on what you make of it. There is some required classes where it does talk about not more religion and Catholic, just theology in general, and that's just part of the whole mission here at SU of educating the whole person and not just academics but also spiritual stuff. And I also noticed that even in the campus ministry here at SU, it's not about converting you to Catholicism. It's more about wherever you're at in your journey, they'll help you be better. So be a better Muslim, be a better Jew or Buddhist and stuff like that. And they're really accommodating here of all beliefs and all religion.
No, that's what I've noticed coming over here, and we talked a little bit about diversity, where you're saying that it's good, but there's always room and improvement, not only for the student body, but also for the faculty. But do you feel that your curriculum is actually more diverse?
Yes, I actually believe that, especially like last year where I was learning a bunch of different topics. So like last year I took different classes in food justice. There was one where it was called The Islamic World and the West. And so we were analyzing how the Western media or the Western world portrays the Islamic faith and Muslim people, and talking about like Islamophobia and all that, those topics. And then even like going to a different realm where the Islam class was more present, even going to like the past and like philosophy of how democracy works and how democracy should look like, and reading all these philosophers and their takes on democracy and how government structure should be like. So it's really a wide, diverse range of topics spanning from like present day issues to also like looking back to the past and what philosophers think of government and stuff like that.
I feel like I'm talking to Professor Ed right now. So it seems like not only is Seattle is in good hands, but vice versa as well too. Now, this is my first time here on campus. So honored. But a lot of times students were kept on saying like, oh, it feels so much in the city. So we're high up. So yeah, you can see this, the skyscrapers across the way. But I still feel like it's truly a campus. So, I know you're a city kid, just like me. What advice do you have for kids who are city kids and not city kids coming to Seattle University, which has great transportation, has amazing opportunities you could take electric scooters everywhere. That's how I got here. So what some words of wisdom do you have for them?
For the city kids, it's probably gonna feel like a little bit more natural to be in this area, especially if you go outside of campus. It's a lot more city, a lot more urban space area, so they'll probably be more comfortable here. And for those who aren't from the city, Seattle University has like a lot of trees and nature around here. There's a lot of like secluded areas where you can go reflect and stuff like that. And also we are in Seattle, Washington in Pacific Northwest, so if people do want to go on like a hike or climb a mountain or go camping and stuff like that, there are different spots around the area, around the region, that's closely accessible for people. So if they're more outdoorsy or not used to the urban areas, there's always a getaway that students can take.
And one thing I really admired about you is that before we started the interview, you started talking about you doing remote learning in your dorm room. And you made the best of the situation, right? And you made friends even though it's a scary time. You went out and engaged. What's some words of wisdom? Because I think that's the key thing that I think students forget, and even adults, is to grab a situation, make the best out of it. And then, as we always talked about, when one door closes, then knock down, another door. Hopefully the door is open, but sometimes, you have to knock a little bit hard. So any words of wisdom for all of us listening to you?
Yeah, I think it's just make the most out of the situation, and also be open, even though the circumstances might not be what is fitting. There's always some sort of good, and you can also benefit from whatever situation's happening. Like, for example, for me in my Zoom classes, I was still an active participant in my classes, and like sharing in conversation, even though it was on Zoom. And also like getting to know my professors during virtual office hours and stuff like that. It also got to a point where one of my professors last year added me on LinkedIn at the end of the school year, and I was like, wow. I felt honored in a way, because it was virtual classes, we weren't in person, so even just making that connection through Zoom was worthwhile here.
I told you LinkedIn is no joke, right? High schoolers, get on your LinkedIn account. And I think you're going to be beyond a superstar, not only on LinkedIn, but the rest of the world. Seattle University, so lucky to have you, the Sullivan, and I am honored to know you. Thank you so much, Jeff.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. We really appreciate you taking the time out of your precious day to listen to us. So subscribe so that you could download this podcast wherever you may be. We're on so many different streaming devices, but also you can find out more information about College for All at college4all.com. We're also on Twitter at collegeforall.amv, Instagram collegeforall.amv, and more to come. Thank you and have an amazing day.